You're watching Camnet TV, not just another channel. Welcome to our news. The headlines. PF accepts having lost grip on the COPPERBELT, but says it has regained its members. John SANGWA petitions ECZ over omission of holding of office twice by a serving president. ZCTU urges companies to invest in social protection programs amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. In international news, children in Tigray deeply affected after 6 months of conflict. And in sports news, Fashion SAKALA Jr. completed Rangers switch. For the details, join me shortly after this break.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict. For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply. Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
With the details, my name is Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga. Public prosecutors from the National Prosecution Authority, NPA, have entered the second day of their protest, which they are demanding that government resolves issues relating to underpayments of their retirement packages, among other things. The prosecutors, majority who have worked in the Zambia Police Service before being transferred to NPA, disclosed that government has failed to issue them formal transfer letters and they are not paid terminal benefits for the years they worked for NPA. Meanwhile, some prisoners spoken to have expressed concern over the issue, saying that they are the ones who are now affected as their matters are being adjourned. More in this report.
Just like yesterday, the Lusaka's Magistrate Court was once more Tuesday morning less busy, as most people's cases were left to be adjourned due to the absence of public prosecutors who are on protest. The prosecutors who yesterday boycotted work in protest against irregularities in their transfers letters from different law enforcement agencies have continued with their sit-in protest, entering the second day. The public prosecutors from the National Prosecution Authority, NPA, have staged a countrywide sitting protest demanding that government resolve issues relating to underpayments of their retirement packages. Meanwhile, prisoners who came for their cases experienced concern over the issue.
So TV kapani vantu vena vapano vakamoti unoti kasaranga yende kuchoka tungema cheko kuna tikomboke 14 manje betivudikiremo hero tichikujere tivudikira tifunga chore moro ndavana tivudikiremo vena.
Some prosecutors, majority of whom have worked in the Zambia Police Service before transferred, are not paid terminal benefit for the years they work for NPA. They say the government only pays terminal benefit for the period they served as police officers. For now, it seems the issue of cases being adjourned will continue till the prosecutors' demand are met. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The Zambia Congress of Trade Unions, ZCTU, says the COVID-19 pandemic is a wake-up call to companies on the need to invest in social protection programs and insurance. ZCTU Secretary General Cosmas Mukuka regrets that if investments were prioritized in insurance, employers would have been cushioned from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has ravaged the economy. He notes that insurance firms would have been helping companies in sustaining operations. He has since called on insurance companies to develop responsive packages and contribute to the economic sustainability. Speaking during a meeting of labor organizations in Lusaka Tuesday, Mr. Mukuka pointed out the need to invest in social protection mechanisms, and he has lamented that some foreign investors are making it difficult for the labor movement to thrive. He also urged union leaders to continue sharpening the skills of their members owing to the competition they face from robots.
We wish to know that when we were faced with the COVID pandemic, which we are still experiencing now, it was important at that stage, if you workers, trade unions, invested in social protection, so that at the end of the day, we should not be talking of the employers chasing you from work because they have no money to pay you. It should be the role now of the insurance companies taking up the payments of your salaries because the company has already invested in social protection. This is what is lacking. Probably this is a wake-up call for Zambia and most of the employers that investment in social protection is very, very important. So as you go for collective bargaining this year and other years to come, we should emphasize the need for the employers to invest in social protection or to be covered by social protection schemes. We much talk about the health insurance could have even taken up the role of the COVID tests, the COVID treatments and so on, but I think those are the issues to do. Other than leaving it to government alone, companies can also supplement the efforts of government if they invest in social protection.
The traditional leadership in Msanzala constituency of Lusagazi district have taken lead in taking the COVID-19 vaccination for the protection from the virus. Chief Nyampande of the Nsenga-speaking people of Lusagazi district has gotten his first round of the COVID-19 vaccine, with some of the headmen under him getting vaccinated. Denise has the details.
Workers in Petauke district of Eastern Province have continued administering the COVID-19 vaccine to the people in the area and its surrounding communities. This time, the traditional leadership have taken the lead by taking the vaccine, as Chief Nyampande of the Nsenga-speaking people took the lead in taking the vaccine with his headmen.
That since time immemorial, we've received vaccines. I think you can see Ntomba from the time we were young. And that science, once they see there's a disease and develop a vaccine, it's important that each and every person gets it in order for us to achieve herd immunity. With that, I've encouraged my headmen that they should support the program when it comes into their areas, because that's the only way that we can win against this COVID-19.
And the medical personnel in the area explains the vaccine in detail.
Don't be afraid, don't be scared. The vaccine is safe. It's just protect you. Even myself, I got my jab last week. I'm here, I'm okay.
Msanzala constituents Member of Parliament Peter Daka has urged people to ignore the misconceptions surrounding the COVID-19 vaccine.
Through His Royal Highness, I am a vaccine yaliko yawe. Ofuna lasiwe. But kuti muoneshe kuti ivasani yupayalini amfumo ayambilire kulasiwa pano. But makliniki umutire temosi kuti aliyense alasiwe kuchita protect. Nkulesha lingutosa vala mask. But nkulesha kuti ila COVID isatichite manini. Tamvua na mafumu.
It is imperative for people to get the COVID-19 vaccine and take precaution measures in order to protect themselves from the virus. Hilda Msonda in Petauke District.
The ruling Patriotic Front, PF, says it has started regaining its ground on the Copperbelt province after addressing the challenges of the people. PF member of the mobilization team and former provincial minister Mwenyem Senge explains that 2 years ago it was very difficult for the PF members to freely move with their political party regalia as people's hearts were boiling. Mr. Msenge says following the stabilization of the jobs, especially in the mines, the people on the Copperbelt have started regaining their confidence in the PF again. But the UPND, through Kitwe District Chairman Elvis Nkandu, says the people of the Copperbelt province have made up their mind against voting for the PF. Mr. Nkandu tells Camnet TV News in an interview that Zambians, even those who seem to support the PF, are just waiting for the 12th of August 2021 to prove what lies in their hearts.
The political battle for controls the belt of Zambia's copper is now in full swing. The opposition UPND on the Copperbelt province, through its Kitwe District Chairman Elvis Nkandu, claims they are now in charge of the province following the economic hardships the people are going through.
Now I'm convinced that the minds of the people on the Copperbelt have changed. The minds of the people in this country have changed, including Eastern Province where they thought it's their stronghold. People have changed. So for me, I'm convinced. Now that should not make us sleep, that people have changed. This is the reason why you've seen us meeting and strategize. All we are doing is strategizing and see how best we can now try to protect the votes from the Patriotic Front and also protect the leadership which we have in the UPND.
But the PF, through former Copperbelt minister and current member of the mobilization team on the Copperbelt, Mwenyem Senge, says the PF has regained its popularity in the province, which it had lost about 2 years ago.
2 years ago, you could see that PF was losing grip on the Copperbelt because of the major challenges or rather difficulties they were encountering in the mining sector, the people encountering in the mining sector. But today, with the acquiring of KCM and Mopani, when you go to Tringola Chizabungwe today and talk to the miners, they'll tell you they are happy. 2 years ago, people were afraid of wearing the PF regalia. But now, go anyway. It has now become a piece of cake. And, you know, it is on high demand that it is very scarce. So that clearly tells you that the people have realized and have accepted that indeed the Patriotic Front have really done something.
The two continue to debate over the economy of the province.
We need to have decency in the way we are doing politics. Because today Mr. Nkandu is talking about something which is very real. The economy is at its knees. Even when are you telling me that between yesterday and today, the economy has improved? Between yesterday and today, do we have medicine in the hospitals? These are the things that Kamburi was talking about. Now, those things are not yet there. So it's just folly for someone to say that I'm going back to the Patriotic Front. And someone is even boasting that, no, no, people...
You know, when we are talking about the state of the economy in the country, the majority of the people that are using that do not really understand what economics is all about. And they tend to use it as a tool of politicking. Here in Zambia, as much as we can say that goods and services have gone up, people should also realize that even the salaries of workers have also been adjusted accordingly.
Kalan Muchima reporting for Camnet News in Kitwe.
Still in politics, the opposition leadership movement has officially declared its readiness to contest the August elections. This is after the party's presidential candidate, Richard Silumbe, having officially paid the presidential nomination fees amounting to 95,000 kwacha to the Electoral Commission of Zambia ECZ Tuesday morning. More in this report.
In the electoral process, we are at the stage where various political parties are now paying nomination fees, although others argued that the figures were too exorbitant. But anyway, the country has gone past that stage. Nomination fees, as prescribed by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, are as follows. Male presidential candidates are now paying 95,000 kwacha, while their female counterparts are now parting away with 75,000 kwacha. Female parliamentary candidates are now paying 13,000 kwacha, while men will have to give the ECZ 15,000 kwacha. Tuesday, opposition leadership movement president Richard Silumbe paid the 95,000 kwacha presidential nomination fee. Speaking shortly after validating the payment at ECZ, Dr. Silumbe says the party is keen to develop the country.
We have made the payments, and I'm just urging all our members out there to know that this is now the time. We need to go out there, flat out, tell our people what they expect of the leadership movement government. We have stated so many things in our manifesto. Among them are the 4 pillars of our manifesto. Number 1, land to the Zambian people. Number 2, jobs to Zambian youths. Number 3, tax breaks and tax holidays to Zambian businesses. Number 4, support your local team. Local is laka. So we are getting into this election knowing that we want to ensure that we uplift the livelihood of our people.
David Kalumba is Leadership Movement National Chairman.
We hope this election will be free and fair, and we want to urge our members to make sure that they don't involve themselves into violence, more especially our youths. We want an election which will be violence-free, and we also want to thank you, ECZ, for this smooth operation of this arrangement. We want to congratulate them.
It's a 21st century political party, and we have come to deliver the great gift to future generation, the great Zambia. Also, the leadership movement will continue to do our programs. Currently now we have a program, National Women Empowerment Program. Our target wants to empower 1 million women countrywide. So we are doing it. We are walking the talk as a leadership movement.
This process separates what in one of the local languages would be termed as Nashalanika political parties, meaning one-man political parties, from those that are serious about participating in this important democratic process. Patrick Soko, Camnet News.
Meanwhile, Advocates for National Development and Democracy has called for civility ahead of political campaigns. Organization Executive Director Samuel Banda urges politicians to desist from using vulgar language against each other. Mr. Banda has also discouraged political violence while urging politicians to maintain peace and unity in diversity. Mr. Banda's comments comes in the wake of a 2020 video in which a UPND cadre was heard issuing disparaging remarks against President Edgar Lungu.
As we are heading towards elections, we have observed that some political stakeholders are engaging into some political activities, and it's very interesting as they are preparing for the campaigns. Unfortunately, we have also taken note of some politicians who are getting into the habit of using unpalatable and uncalled language and respecting the authority of the government. We therefore wish to urge all the politicians to ensure that they practice issue-based politics and desist from practicing politics of character assassination. I wish to remind politicians that Zambia is a Christian nation governed by Christian values. Hence, the uncouth behavior of Mubitanawa and his colleague from the UPND. It is very disappointing and uncalled for. Politicians must practice politics within the confines of the law. We want to believe that the law will take its due course on the unpalatable language that Mubitanawa issued in the video that is running on social media, issuing unpalatable language against our Republican president. It is very important that we respect the office of the president. It's very important that we respect our leaders.
And moving on in the news, constitutional lawyer John SANGWA has filed in a petition before the Constitutional Court asking the court to compel the Electoral Commission of Zambia to amend the new form of affidavit sworn by presidential candidate. State Counsel SANGWA has cited the Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, as a respondent in the case. Counsel SANGWA states that ECZ has omitted or neglected to include the mandatory requirement of Article 52 and 106 Cap 3, which compels presidential candidates to swear that one has not twice held office as president. The petitioner argues that the current version of the affidavit for presidential candidates or running mate prescribed by ECZ does not mandate presidential candidates to address what is provided for in Article 106 Cap 3 of the Constitution. He also states that Article 106 Cap 3 of the Constitution provides another instance where one may be disqualified for nomination as a presidential candidate. The learned counsel SANGWA further submits that the affidavit for presidential candidate or running mate does not meet the requirement of Article 52. And still in the news, Alliance for Children Everywhere Zambia Executive Director Daisy Musukutwa has revealed that orphanages under its care, among them the House of Moses Transit Home, which looks after infants, still faces challenges in managing the children at the house. She was speaking when the Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority ZAMRA made a donation of assorted items at House of Moses Transit Home in Lusaka. And ZAMRA Senior Public Relations Officer Christabel Iliamupu says the donation is part of ZAMRA's corporate social responsibility and the desire to enhance the lives of the vulnerable. More in this report.
The Zambia Medicines Regulatory Authority has responded to the call for sharing as a means of showing love. Tuesday, ZAMRA, through its corporate social responsibility, donated assorted non-food items to the House of Moses Transit Home. According to the authority, the donations were solicited by its employees as a way of sharing and in commemoration of Labor Day. ZAMRA Senior Public Relations Officer Christabel Iliamupu notes that research has shown that within the communities, many people are in need of various forms of supports ranging from financial, moral and social support.
As the authority, we also recognize that, as the madam had said, and research has shown that there are a number of people in our communities that face a number of challenges that could be financial, could be social, among many other challenges. And this is why, as the authority, we place great importance to corporate social responsibility, just as a way of being a good corporate citizen that contributes and helps to better the lives of our brothers and sisters, and most importantly, children in our society. So also quickly just to mention that as we are all aware, globally we're still fighting the COVID-19 pandemic, and so these contributions speaks to the fact that COVID-19 has added to the many challenges that people in communities face. And this is because, as we are all aware, we are all required to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols.
And Alliance for Children Everywhere Zambia Executive Director Daisy Musukutwa, under which House of Moses Force is grateful for the thought attached by not only Zamra but many others who come to help the center.
To thank you as Zamra for coming for thinking about us and the gift that you have brought to us. Actually, this gift, it helps us even reduce on our budget. Because if we wanted to buy detergent you have brought, so we will buy less what you have brought. Meaning we can take the other funds to use for other things. We have medicals for the children, they need medical support. Sometimes we don't have enough money to do that. So when we make a saving, we direct those funds will help us with the medical, especially if the child is admitted in the hospital, we need to pay a carer there to take care of that child out there while the other carers are here in the homes. Yeah, so thank you so much for thinking about us and God bless.
Sharon Kalimula, Camnet News, Lusaka.
We take our first set of commercials. Do stay with us as we still have more interesting stories lined up for you.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZCTU units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962 642 490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Every day for me means hard work, going to sell my goods at the local market. To get more customers, I have my secret. Oracle Pure Glycerin. It's soft, smooth, and keeps my skin perfect. And my customers know it. Thank you, Oracle, for my perfect skin.
It's your friends.
I insist.
Your drama.
Do you think you can talk about my dad like that? You in charge.
And intrigue.
Are you out for good or what? What do you want? Dare you say that to me, eh?
Your heroes. It's your moment with your stories. Made at home for your home. 'Cause great stories start on DSTV.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. Residents of Kivanza Ward in Kalumbila district have castigated their councillor for telling a new investor not to employ the local people in that community. Kaboko Mining is setting up a smelter in Kivanza Ward, but the area councillor Geoffrey Munene was reportedly discouraging the firm from employing the locals. One of the affected residents who spoke to Camnet TV News is saddened that at a time when they are faced with high levels of unemployment, a civic leader would be hindering job opportunities for the locals. But when contacted for a comment, Kivanza Ward Councillor Geoffrey Munene on the telephone refused the accusation, saying his views were misrepresented.
So tomwini ku bakansire betu bamunene bayishire yo bayishire nokwiyo batereka nobyango yo bayindezire ketubiyukirene bayishire batwera mukati bebura ngo direct baya copy down niyo bari kugire kwa after baya bamuna ma supervise bakonga ba kampoko mine so batendekere kwamba wedia kwamba kembe na uke bamutweshe ko barumendo nangwamba bantu bamuno mu munjani ngemwe nake bakutwesha bantu bamuno mu munjani nishiye kampani isa bya portwene so kana musendenga bantu bakwale pane babeni muyenga nabo.
Northwestern Provincial Agriculture Coordinator in the Ministry of Agriculture, Muyobo Shimabale, has commended Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, through its expansion of community-based smallholder irrigation, a COPPERBELT development project for its continued support in the irrigation development. Mr. Shimabale added that the support and partnership between the Ministry of Agriculture and JICA has continued to yield positive results that are benefiting the farmers greatly in terms of irrigation development in the province. NAIS reports that the Provincial Agriculture Coordinator was speaking when he opened the kick-off training for the Ministry of Agriculture staff from Kalumbila, Kasempa, Mufumbwe and Mushindano districts as its first group held at Shamufukama Farm Institute in Solwezi district yesterday. Mr. Shamabale called on the farmers in the province to own the COPPERBELT project to encourage crop diversification through the use of irrigation facilities. Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, through its expansion of community-based shareholder irrigation, a COPPERBELT development project is being implemented in partnership with the Ministry of Agriculture.
I wish to thank JICA for its continued support through the project. The partnership between JICA and the Ministry of Agriculture continues to yield positive results that are benefiting our farmers greatly in terms of irrigation development. The increased exploitation of irrigation opportunities in the province continues to stimulate crop diversification, which will ensure increased fruit and vegetable production or horticultural production. We must continuously inculcate the concept of ownership of the project. Farmers must not say this weir is a JICA weir. They must be able to say it's our weir. So they must, we must inculcate that concept of ownership of this project, and that's what will help to carry it forward even after the lifespan of the project.
United Party for National Development UPND Katuba Member of Parliament Bampi Kapalasa has charged that no one can compete with him in Katuba because he is the man on the ground who has ensured that there is massive development. The lawmaker states that he has embarked on various infrastructure development projects that will help in the contribution of offering good service to the community, such as the building of schools, clinics, among other things. He says all those wanting to contest on the Katuba parliamentary seat by dishing out money to people in exchange for votes can go ahead because the people of Katuba are able to see who is bringing development to them. Meanwhile, Mr. Kapalasa has refuted allegations that he has been bought by the state to file his petition in the Constitutional Court over the eligibility of the president, a move that is said to be blocking State Counsel John SANGWA from filing in his petition.
What I've embarked on is to see to it that in the next 5 years, this issue should be the past. In that, one, I've now embarked on building schools. Already at Katuba, we're doing 1 by 3. Shawalala, we're doing 1 by 3. Mbongolo, we're doing 1 by 3. Kayosha, we're doing 1 by 3. So for me, I feel with education, I'm already pushing. And you see, with infrastructure, it means that our children will be educated and develop. And even our constituency will also be developed because we have educated people. Then number two, I've now also embarked in building mother's shelters. I'm already doing one at Manjuni. I'm already doing one at Mungule Clinic. So for me, I feel there's no one who can compete with me right now because I'm the man on the ground. I'm the man that is bringing development to the people. The rest of them flashing money. And if I ask you, what can Handle Kwacha do for you in this economic situation that we are facing with the PF government, who have failed to handle our economy, who have failed to provide for our people? Well, look, at the end of the day, you see, what I have done, or what we have done, is to move the court. We're not petitioning anyone. Here we're moving the court. So we want interpretation of the law.
We take another set of commercials to stay with us as we still have international and sports news. Don't go away.
In this fast-paced era of industrial boom and population growth, there is need to invest in smart ways of managing electricity and water consumption and reducing utility billing costs associated with the postpaid billing system. At Savenda Electronics, we manufacture right here in Zambia different types of high-quality smart electricity and water meters to customer specifications. Savenda Electronics water and electricity meters help you monitor your usage and gives notifications such as low units, tampering, low battery, and many other features. These easy-to-use meters makes it easier to buy units even in these COVID times and top up just from the comfort of your space. Favorable contract terms are available to both electricity and water utilities. For more details, get in touch with us on the following numbers: 0956 580 349 or 0977 498 318. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Making GoTV payments is easier than you think. But first, you have to log in. First of all, open the GoTV app. Then select your country. Fill in your surname or cell phone number and then your IUC number. That's it. You can log in. Welcome to your home page. Now click on Pay Now. Select Make a Payment. Next, you will be asked how much you wish to pay. You can do this by clicking on the space next to the Kwacha sign and entering the desired amount. All the details of your payment, including account details and amount you are paying, will appear. Make sure everything is in order. Now click on the Ting button under Choose Payment option. When the Ting window pops up, click on OK and then Pay Now. Now select Preferred Card Payment or Mobile Money option. When the Make a Payment window opens, click on the pink Pay Now button. Now, you simply authorize the payment by clicking on Send Prompt, which will send a prompt to your mobile number. Once you've received the prompt on your phone, simply enter the unique PIN and you are done. GoTV. Love it.
2021 has been described as a highly politically charged year. This is because every 5 years, the country goes to the polls, and that 5 years elapses with only a few months remaining down to the ballot. The battlefield to appear on the ballot is becoming fertile. A lot of people are expressing interest of appearing on the ballot.
In all this, our interest is to put the duty bearers, the leaders, and those aspiring to task by asking the relevant questions.
If you're an aspiring candidate, be it councillor, mayor, or member of parliament, get in touch with us to get yourself on the verdict.
We go beyond speculation in dealing with policy and governance issues. The right questions are asked to help you make a verdict.
For more details, you can call us on 0962 965883, 0979 753010, or email us info@camnettvafrica.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us on Camnet TV
every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at 17:45 hours
on a new program dubbed The Verdict.
Remember that Camnet TV is not just another channel.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We continue with the news. In international news, More than 1.7 million children and adults are displaced as a result of Ethiopia's Tigray conflict and need urgent support with access to food, including therapeutic food for malnourished children, shelter, health care, mental health support, clean water, and sanitation services. This is according to global NGO Save the Children. Almost 5,000 children, Save the Children says, are separated from their parents by the conflict, with many living in unsafe and dire conditions in informal camps. 6 months on since the fighting started, at least 917 unaccompanied and 4,056 separated children have been recorded by the UN. Many of them have no adult caregivers and are at risk of neglect and sexual and physical abuse, Save the Children said. Many of these children were separated from their parents while fleeing for their lives during the conflict. Others have lost parents to the violence. The Tigray region is experiencing a complex of emergencies, including insecurity, flooding, locusts, drought, disease outbreaks, and the health and economic impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic on the Children. NGO Fund elaborated. Since the fighting broke out on the 4th of November 2020, thousands of civilians have been killed, hundreds of thousands of people have been internally displaced within Tigray, and 63,000 refugees have fled to Sudan.
More than 1.7 million children and adults are displaced as a result of the conflict in Ethiopia's Tigray region. According to Save the Children, almost 5,000 children are separated from their parents by conflict in Tigray. Many of them, it says, are in need of access to food, including therapeutic food for malnourished children, shelter, health care, mental health support, clean water, and sanitation services.
The ongoing conflict is having a significant impact on families and their children. There is a lack of access to food and to water, as well as ongoing destruction of healthcare facilities and educational facilities.
6 months on since the fighting started in Tigray, at least 917 unaccompanied and 4,056 separated children have been recorded by the UN. Many of them are at risk of neglect and sexual and physical abuse.
The lack of access to healthcare has a huge impact on children and mothers. Children at the very basic level are not able to receive their routine childhood immunisations, putting them at huge risk of infectious diseases and also increasing the risk of an outbreak within the region.
The conflict in Tigray came as a result of months of escalating tensions between the Ethiopian government and the dominant regional force, the TPLF, which culminated in Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed ordering a military offensive.
We now get into sports news. And in sports news, Zambian national team winger Fashion Sakala Jr. has completed his switch to Scottish Giants Rangers FC. The club has announced Sakala has pinned a 4-year deal to complete his summer move to Ibrox, as earlier reported by Zamfoot Crew. Rangers are today delighted to announce that a pre-contract has been agreed with Fashion Sakala, and he will join from Belgium side KV Ostende in the summer, subject to international clearance and a work permit is received. The Zambian international attacking player joins the Light Blues on a 4-year deal, with the club already well underway in their planning for the 2021-2022 season. Sakala will join Steven Gerrard's side on 1st July as a free agent after he runs down his contract at Ostende, where he has 5 Belgian Pillar Pro League playoff A second games before his time with the Castor Boys comes to an end. The 24-year-old has netted 13 times and assisted 3 times for the Belgium Top Flight club in their impressive season in the Belgian Top Flight, which has seen them enter the UEFA European League qualification phase in Belgium. SAKALA follows in the footsteps of Kima Rofe and Ines Haji, who also made the same journey to Ibrox from the Jupiler Pro League. Well, that sports item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. PF accepts having lost grip on the COPPERBELT, but says it has regained its numbers. John Sangwa petitions ECZ over omission of holding of office twice by a serving president. ZCTU urges companies to invest in social protection programs amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. And in international news, children in Tigray deeply affected after 6 months of conflict. And in sports news, fashion Sakala Jr. completed Rangers switch. The Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 John 1 verse 9 to 10, and it reads, "If we confess our sins, he is faithful and righteous to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. If we say we don't have any sin, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us." On behalf of the entire news production crew and myself, Liseli Kanyanga Mubanga, thank you so much for watching Camnet TV News on Camnet TV, not just another channel.